The first regular session of the 58th Legislature is now complete. Capitol Correspondent Jason Doyle reports on newly passed bills that will fund public education at record levels and may eliminate several lawsuits involving charter schools.
The Senate will stand adjourned. Sine Die.
Business is finished for the legislature as it adjourns this year's regular session. Earlier in the week, Governor Kevin Stitt and lawmakers involved with education-related legislation passed this session gathered with students at the Capitol to commemorate what was accomplished, including record-setting funding for public education.
I signed a budget that invests a record $3.2 billion in our public education system.
State Superintendent of Public Instruction Joy Hoffmeister, who also serves as OETA's board chair, said the impact of the extra funding will make its way directly into the classroom.
$210 million new dollars for education, which is going to mean we go back to the smaller class size requirement of kindergarten and first graders. And as more money comes into education, that will trigger further years in elementary school and beyond.
House Democrats feel the education budget did not go far enough. In a statement, Representative Jacob Rosecrans, a former teacher, says, quote, "It is hard to say our investment is historic when every state around us has done the same or better for their students. I believe firmly that Oklahoma students deserve the best, but we can't give them that when we prioritize investment into private corporations." Hoffmeister says the additional money from the legislature is welcome.
Record-setting numbers in the budget for this year truly can be transformational when we think about the future, especially the Red Bud funding bill, which is going to provide funds that school districts can count on in low ad valorem areas or in public charter schools.
While the Red Bud funding bill will help more than 300 public school districts in poor areas with their physical building needs, the legislation also extends that funding to charter schools with a brick-and-mortar building.
We had the Red Bud Fund to show that our charter schools are public schools and they deserve to be funded at the same level as everyone else.
The Red Bud funding bill passage late last week led to the State Board of Education to rescind a recent controversial settlement concerning charter school funding on Monday.
I'd like to make a motion to rescind the State Board of Education resolution from March 25th, 2021, as it pertains to the 2017 Charter School Association lawsuit.
State Board of Education member Trent Smith says rescinding the settlement will be contingent on a couple of factors.
A release of all claims against the State Board of Education, a release of all claims against the State Department of Education, and Governor Stitt signing Senate Bill 229 into law.
It's safe to say that I'm going to sign that bill.
Those actions resolve 3 other lawsuits filed by the 2 largest school districts and a group of rural and suburban districts over funding charter school building funds with the same money they use. Another education bill touted by Republicans and panned by Democrats is the Equal Opportunity Scholarship Act. It expands tax credits for those donating to scholarship funds for private schools or their public school district's needs.
The Equal Opportunity Scholarship Act will be the most transformative thing we've done in my time in the Capitol.
Former teacher and school administrator Representative Melissa Provenzano contends Oklahoma is lagging in funding when compared to the region, saying, quote, "Our historic investment into public education still leaves Oklahoma in last place for per-student spending in our region. Lawmakers know this, but still decided to give a $25 million tax credit to private schools." For Superintendent Hoffmeister, the additional resources for students could not have come at a better time.
We know that there is unfinished learning. There are some students who are off track for graduation.
Jason Doyle, the Oklahoma News Report.